What is up? It is episode 3 of the Omaha Dreams podcast, hosted by
Brendan Young. Stat correction from last episode: career 300 hitter, 0-star college baseball recruit, still waiting on a few calls, and Connor Heilman, the all-time leader in Little League walks.
So today we will be talking about midweek recap for week 3, weekend previews for week 3. We will do conference previews for Big Ten, Big West, Colonial, Conference USA.
There's a lot of previews.
Yeah, a couple previews. And then we are going from our top 8 down to our top 5. I'm excited for this.
You know who you're knocking off?
I know.
I don't.
No.
Game time decision.
Okay, I like it. Let's get into midweek recap. We're starting on Tuesday, number 19, Texas Tech at Dallas Baptist. I predicted this game going to Texas Tech by 1 run.
Wow.
I had that correct. Texas Tech wins this game 4-3, going into extra innings to the 10th inning.
Yeah, Dallas Baptist, they have a lead for most of the game, but they can't hold on to it at the end of the game. Red Raiders scored 2 in the 8th inning to tie it, and then 1 in the top of the 10th.
Who'd you have for this?
I had Dallas Baptist.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Terrible
Started,
pick.
yeah. Well, terrible.
No, it was a pretty good pick. They were right
it was
there.
Almost a really good pick.
Yeah. Okay. ECU at Duke next. I had Duke winning this. I was very, very wrong. ECU wins this game 12-2.
I bounced back on my predictions, though, after going ice cold week 1.
Yep.
Get a great prediction here. I said that I thought East Carolina was going to keep the bats rolling. They looked good in their last game against North Carolina.
Yeah. Yep.
And they keep it rolling. They both drop. So the Pirates and the Blue Devils both drop out of the top 25 this past weekend. They're both looking for some bounce back games. It started off slow. There's no runs through the 4th. And then both teams scored 2 in the 5th. Duke hits a 2-run pinch hit home run, and that's going to be the only thing they score. And then ECU goes on to score 10 more after the 5th. So
yeah, 6 of those runs came in the top of the 9th, so they just put 6 nails in that coffin at the very end of the game. My Duke Blue Devils are feeling blue after this one. Number 1, Texas at Sam Houston. I had Texas winning this one by at least 2 runs. Texas dominates this game 10-2. I don't think there's much more to talk about.
Yeah.
Who'd you have for this?
I had Texas as well. They continue to show why they're the best team in the country.
Yeah.
That being said, Sam Houston, they've lost 4 straight now. They lose 3 close games to Dallas Baptist last week and then play Texas 2 days later. It's kind of a tough roll, but it is what it is. But they have some conference play coming up in the next few weeks.
How are you feeling about them? Because I know you were high on them.
I mean, like I said, they're play Texas.
Yeah.
They're not as good as Texas, but yeah. I didn't say that. I didn't think they were going to win this weekend, but
I honestly thought this game was going to be closer.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what you going to do?
Yep. 23 Sacramento State at California. That's our next game. I had Sacramento State winning this game by 1 run. Cal wins this game 6-2.
Yeah, I had Sacramento winning too. I thought they were going to keep it hot after taking down Long Beach State.
I did mention last time that I thought this past weekend they had a lot of close games.
Mm-hmm.
That might have affected it. I think it's fair to say that it did.
Yeah, their pitching staff struggled. They gave up 7 hits and 11 walks and used 9 pitchers. So
okay. Next game we have is 25 Long Beach State at UCLA. I had the UCLA upset. I was correct. Is that what you had?
Yeah, I had UCLA as well.
UCLA wins 3-0. Cody Schreier has the only RBIs of the day on a 3-run home run to left field in the 1st. Rest of the day was dominated by the pitchers with only 5 combined hits from both teams.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to note this UCLA pitching staff. Thatcher Hurd ends up getting the win. He went 5 innings, allowing only 2 hits.
I like that name too. I think that might be a candidate for name of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Thatcher.
Yeah.
That's a sick first name.
Yeah, so he goes 5, allows 2 hits, 1 base on ball, 12 Ks. Pretty dominant. Then Ethan Flanagan comes in. He goes 4 innings, no hits, 7 Ks, earns the save. So solid performance by that UCLA pitching staff.
Yeah, I noted their young core that they have.
Mhm.
I mentioned they had, I want to say they have the #1 recruiting class this past year.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about them later too, because they are playing in one of the biggest classics this weekend.
Yeah, but all those guys that you mentioned are all freshmen. So
next game we have is 10 Florida State at Mercer. Mercer was down 5-3 going into the bottom of the 9th. Joseph Rohrbacher would get an
tongue twister.
Yeah, definitely. Would get an RBI single to cut down the lead to 1. Mercer would get the game time run on an error to send it into extras. So you mentioned this last week with these upsets, that these errors have been killing these ranked teams.
Mhm.
And yet again, it happens. If not for this error, this game probably doesn't go into extras. Florida State probably wins, but goes into extras in the bottom of the 11th. Bill Knight would score Rohrbacher on a single to center field to complete the upset. I do want to note here, Florida State has only had 2 road games. They've lost on both to teams that they probably should have beaten. So I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on as we move into conference play. Florida State needs to have a really good year to try to compete with NC State for that side of the division. If they can't win these road games, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, it's still early on in the season, and for Florida State and those other teams, I think that's the reason why these errors are popping up.
Yeah.
I think they'll have those, at least for these top teams, they'll have those fixed within a few weeks. And, towards the end of the season, we won't really see much of that.
Yeah. Next game we have is D3 Loras College at Iowa. Why are we mentioning this, you may ask? Well, Loras College wins this game 3-1, and they held Iowa scoreless until the bottom of the 9th, and the Hawkeyes would end up scoring 1 run, but to no avail as Loras College picks up the win.
That's probably the biggest upset. Definitely the biggest upset of the week, if not maybe the year. A D3 team taking down a D1 Big Ten school in Iowa.
Yeah, and we'll get into that later maybe.
Yeah.
Iowa's one of the better teams in the Big Ten this year. I
definitely think. The top half of teams, I would say.
Yeah,
in the
for
Big
sure.
Ten. Next game we're going to talk about is Oklahoma State at ASU. They play on Tuesday night and Wednesday night.
Yeah. So I had maybe Arizona State stealing one. They didn't.
Look,
you told me I was going to be heartbroken.
Like I said, you were heartbroken.
Yeah.
I also said that Oklahoma State was going to win both.
Yeah.
I didn't think Arizona, especially off of getting crushed by BYU the past weekend, I didn't think they were going to be able to bounce back, especially against Oklahoma State. The first game, ASU was up 3-1 going into the 8th, and then
it was actually 4-1 going.
Oh, it was 4-1.
Yeah, going into the top of the 8th.
Well, Brett Brown from Oklahoma State unloads the bases with a 3 RBI double to take the lead, and they don't give it back.
Yep.
Wednesday, I don't think there's really that much to say about the game.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State wins this one 11-6, right? Mm-hmm. Arizona State had an early lead in this one as well, I think.
Into like the 6th, right?
And no, like it was into the 3rd, and then Oklahoma State starts chiseling into this lead, and the Cowboys end up taking this game as well. So, All right, let's move. With that being said, let's move into Wednesday. Number 8, NC State at Campbell. I had NC State dominating this game and winning by at least 4 or more runs. Wrong. Campbell.
Shout out Camels.
Campbell almost wins this game by 4 or more runs. They win it 7-4.
Yeah, this is one game that I'm happy that I predicted wrong. I'm loving Campbell and what they got going on right now. NC State jumps.
this is a huge bounce back win for them because
Yeah.
they've had a fairly rough start to their season.
They played some tough teams.
Yeah, they didn't have an easy start to their season,
and it
but
didn't get easier playing NC State,
Yeah,
but
but-
they upset them.
yeah,
But so NC State jumps out to an early lead. It looks like they're going to keep the train rolling, the one that they've been riding the whole time this whole season. They score, I think, one run in the first. In the top of the second, they had already scored 2 runs. Their bases are loaded. They're threatening to break it open. Tommy White is at the plate. And Justin Hare, the Campbell head coach, brings in Cummins, who strikes out Tommy Tanks and shuts down the rally. I think that's a huge momentum builder. They score 2 runs in the bottom of the second, tighten up the game. Cummins goes on to throw another 3 innings. Also, shout out to him. He was showing us some love on Twitter and Instagram. Maybe he'll be on the show eventually.
maybe.
I hope.
We would love to get him on.
Yeah. So Campbell then goes on to score 3 in the 5th, and they don't look back. They score 7 with only 2 extra base hits, so they were putting the ball in play, putting pressure on the Wolfpack defense. And
Yeah.
also, you remember I was talking about Zach Neto last episode?
Yeah, he ended up saving the game,
Yeah,
right?
after playing shortstop the whole game.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
Yeah,
pretty
pretty cool.
impressive. NC State left 11 on base here. They need to get those runs in for them to win this game for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's something for NC State. You got to regroup, move on, look at that, and be like, we had chances.
Mhm.
We just didn't get it done.
Yeah. Well, I
So-
mean, you can't win them all. Nobody goes
No,
undefeated.
no one
Yeah.
goes undefeated. So they lose this one, first loss of the year. I mean, it's better.
Tommy Tanks doesn't really perform that great.
Yeah, I think so they did have a little bit of a rally in the 9th. I think they scored like 1 or 2 runs. Tommy Tanks, I think, had an RBI double or something like that. So
He didn't
He-
hit a homer, so
no, but he kept his hit streak alive. So there is that. Next game we're going to talk about is 9 Mississippi State at Southern Miss. This game took place at your Braves AA Stadium, Trustmark Park. Southern Miss ends up winning this game 7-1. I do want to note starting pitcher Tanner Hall. He ends up getting the win here. He would go 7 innings pitched with allowing 0 earned runs on 5 hits, no walks, and 13 Ks. Huge performance by Tanner Hall. Shout out to him.
yeah.
Shutting down that Mississippi State explosive lineup.
Only thing I have noted for this game is Southern Miss takes advantage of scoring opportunities. Mississippi State Mississippi State bats can't get any key hits.
Yeah.
I think that's just the story of the game.
Yeah. Today, Thursday, there wasn't really a lot going on, so nothing really to talk about today. Let's move into weekend previews. We're going to start with the Shriners Children's College Classic
Yeah.
that will be taking place at Minute Maid Park in
But-
Houston.
Before we get into that, I think there's a ton of great series this week.
Yeah, there's a ton of games.
There's
this
a
week.
lot of good matchups. We kind of have to be selective about what we want to talk about
Mhm.
because we only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna, at the end of this preview, we're gonna kind of list a few other games that we think could be intriguing or
Yeah,
have
for
some
sure.
fun games or stuff like that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the participants in this one. We will start with number 1 Texas, who's sitting at a 9-0 record. Next team will be number 7 LSU Tigers, who are sitting at 8-1. Next we have 17 Tennessee Vols at 8-0. Then I have Baylor 4-4, Oklahoma 5-2,
Boomer Soner.
UCLA 6-3. Do you want to take the schedule for this one, kind of talk about it, and then I guess we'll give our predictions about
Sure.
how we think this is gonna go.
Yeah, so Friday night, Texas and Tennessee play, LSU and Oklahoma play, and Baylor and UCLA play. I think obviously the matchup of the night is going to be Texas and Tennessee. We'll get into that. Saturday, we have Texas and LSU, Tennessee and Baylor, and Oklahoma and UCLA. And then on Sunday, we have Texas and UCLA, LSU against Baylor, and Tennessee versus Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think all these teams are really good. All these teams have really good rosters.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's tons of competition in this tournament.
This is by far, I think, the top classic that's going on this weekend.
Mhm.
If you're gonna watch some college baseball this weekend, this is where to go, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of good product on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
That being said, I think one of these teams isn't going to win a game.
I have two.
You have two?
I have
So
two.
I said, I think Baylor or Oklahoma could go winless.
I have both Baylor and Oklahoma going winless.
I think definitely one of them will.
I think both of them are.
Who do you think has the toughest schedule out of all these teams?
I think
Texas has a
Baylor
lot
and
of-
Oklahoma have the same schedule, basically.
Mhm,
I think either way, that's the toughest draw.
mhm,
I think you're right. Texas probably does have the hardest schedule. They have to play number 17 Tennessee, number 7 LSU, and UCLA,
mhm.
who I think is the best of that unranked pack.
I agree with you.
So I think Texas definitely has the hardest schedule, but they're the best team. So I think that's not going to affect them as much as Baylor and Oklahoma. That's why I have both those teams going 0-3.
Okay.
So then,
You want to go Friday predictions? What do you think is going to go down?
yeah, so I can start. I have Texas beating Tennessee Friday.
I got the Vols.
You got the Vols?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going with the Vols.
So I guess,
I think that's going to be Texas's first real big test of the year, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't.
I think
I think the Tennessee Bats are just going to outdo Texas's strength in their pitching staff.
I don't know if that's true necessarily, because I think, hold on, let me try to pull this up real quick. It's not cooperating with me. So Texas is going to probably be pitching Pete Hansen on Friday, would
Yeah.
be my guess. The lefty has started 2 games this year, going 1-0 over 11 innings pitched.
Who do you throw against?
Joe Schmo, and
He threw against Alabama.
yeah, he did. So, and that game was close.
Mhm,
And I think, I want to say he went either 6 or 5.
mhm. I think the Tennessee Bats are a lot better than.
Yeah, I think so too.
Alabama.
But I think this guy's electric. He's allowed 0 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and he has 16 Ks.
Mhm.
So I think he's going to make the difference.
All right.
So,
My MVP pick for the weekend is going to be a Tennessee player. So
okay.
I think,
Well, let's keep moving
okay,
on.
we'll go to
Um,
LSU, OU next.
I have LSU.
Yeah, same.
Cool. So that leaves us with Baylor, UCLA. I have UCLA winning that.
I got Baylor winning that matchup.
Okay. So then let's move to Saturday. Texas will take on LSU. I think Texas is going to win this one too. So I
Yep.
think for me, last week I bet against Texas, right?
mm.
I'm not doing that again this week. I'm taking the Longhorns.
I mean, it's
It's
I don't
hard.
want to say it's a safe pick, but like they're the best.
It's
you
hard to pick against them.
Yeah, you don't want to pick against them until like somebody proves they can beat 'em.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at right now, right?
Yeah.
Because I tried to take the Alabama upset last week. I'm playing it safe this week, dude.
All right. I still am undecided. Like coming into this, I was still undecided who I wanted to pick for this game.
So I think with what you said, if Tennessee beats Texas, I think LSU has a better chance to beat Texas.
So regardless of that, like without putting that in context, who do you think has a better chance at taking down Texas?
Out of those 2 teams,
Mhm,
I think LSU probably.
mhm. Yeah, I could agree with that. I think they're a more complete team than Tennessee is.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee probably has a better offense than LSU does, but that's not a knock on LSU because they have they got a squad.
They have some arms too, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so let's move to.
I'm picking LSU though.
You're taking LSU.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Tennessee versus Baylor. I have Tennessee winning this one.
Same.
And then the last game would be UCLA, Oklahoma. I have UCLA taking this one as well.
I have. They're the Golden Bears, right? UCLA Golden Bears.
Yeah.
That's who I'm picking.
Okay. So let's move to Sunday then. UCLA will take on Texas. I have Texas winning this one, but I think all three of Texas's games are going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be like 1 or 2 run games. Is my prediction. I think this one's going to be close too. UCLA does have some arms.
Yeah.
I think they're not talked about enough right now. They had that big win against Long Beach State, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might, if they get a good weekend this weekend too, I think that may get them to crack the top 25. We'll see.
I mean, they're what, 5-3 right now?
6-3.
6-3.
Yeah.
They're a good squad. I definitely think they can win some games.
Yeah. So who do you have?
I have Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With their first win of the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. LSU, Baylor, I have LSU winning this one.
Same, and then I have Tennessee beating Oklahoma for the last game.
So with that being said, my winner for this will be Texas. They will go 3-0. I think they do like a top performer. It's like an MVP of the weekend. So my MVP of the weekend is going to be Pete Hansen.
Okay.
I think.
Just off of one game?
Off of one game, yeah. So I looked at the information kind of who's won this before. There have been pitchers who have won it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he has a chance to win it. So my runner-up is going to be the Bruins, the UCLA Bruins, right?
So you think
they're going to be 2-1. They're going to lose to Texas, right? So that's going to be the winner. So I think they'd be number 2.
Okay.
So my player of note is Thatcher Hurd, who I talked about earlier.
Thatcher.
He's a freshman pitcher. He just pitched on Tuesday. He went 5 innings. So I really don't know if we're going to see him. I'm thinking maybe we see him on Sunday against Texas.
That would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
If he throws.
Yeah. So even if he comes in, either he starts Sunday or he gets like 2 appearances, throwing like a couple innings here and there. I think he's someone you need to watch because I think this kid's electric, and I think he could be a game changer. I have right here through 3 appearances, he has 2 starts. He's gone 12 innings pitched, posting a 0.75 ERA with 25 Ks.
That's a lot of Ks.
This freshman is getting after it.
I
in
mean,
the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I said last week they brought in the number 1 recruiting class. So
yeah. So then, just to wrap up, LSU I will have going 2-1. Tennessee I will have going 2-1. Baylor and Oklahoma will both go 0-3. I think.
Okay.
So what do you have?
I have Tennessee and LSU both going undefeated on the weekend.
Okay.
So that would leave, I guess. Would that leave? I don't know what I have the other records being. I know for sure Texas would be 1-2. Sorry.
Yeah.
With their only win against UCLA. I think they're getting their first true test of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this is gonna. This weekend's gonna show what Texas is for sure.
And not only that, not just Texas. I think it'll show how Tennessee measures up against them. LSU.
Yeah.
If those are close games, it shows a little weakness for the Longhorns.
Yeah, I really like UCLA in this, right? Like
Mhm.
last week you had San Diego. No, not San Diego State. Who'd you have last week that you thought could be a dark horse in the Classic that we covered last week? I can't remember who it is now.
What was the Classic last week?
But whoever you had ended up going 0-3. So that might...
Oh, it was was it Nebraska? It might have been Nebraska.
Maybe.
I think that's
I don't
what it was.
remember, but I think UCLA, if they do really well this weekend, they might be a team to keep an eye out for the Pac-12. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a possibility. So, with that being said, let's move to.
Wait, I didn't give my MVPs.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
MVP for Tennessee, Trey Lipscomb. He's on a 7-game hit streak right now.
I talked about him last week. I think we both covered him. Right?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to. He was my top performer, but you took him,
Yeah,
so
I
I
took him.
substituted. He's hitting .533 with a 1.812 on base percentage and a 1.267 slug. Yeah, he's been tearing the cover off the ball. I expect that hit streak to go to 10 games this weekend.
Mhm.
And then my runner-up is LSU sophomore Braden Gilbert. He's hitting 440 with a 529 on base and 1,000 slug. And a little, maybe keep your eye on Blake Money. He's been lights out so far this year for the Tigers. He'll be throwing that opening game against Oklahoma. Right now, he's thrown 14 innings, given up no runs, only 4 hits and 17 strikeouts. So
Okay.
he will definitely shut down the Sooners on Friday night.
Nice. Let's move to the Leclerc Classic. This is hosted by ECU, so it'll be in Greenville, North Carolina. Participants are number 21 Maryland, who's sitting at 8-0. The host, East Carolina, sitting at 3-5. Indiana State sitting at 5-2. Michigan sitting at 6-3. So Friday, the matchups will be East Carolina, Indiana State, Maryland, Michigan. Saturday, it will be Maryland, Indiana State, East Carolina, Michigan. And Sunday, it will be Maryland, East Carolina, Michigan, Indiana State. So, with that being said,
I like the 3 teams in the series, specifically Maryland, Michigan, and East Carolina. I like the Big Ten rosters for both of those teams.
Yeah.
I like Michigan's ace, Cam Weston. I think he's going to throw a gem on Friday night. I think Michigan's going to beat Maryland.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to start it off by saying I don't think Indiana State's going to compete.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to win a game.
Okay. So you go and then I'll go.
Okay.
For this.
I have Michigan. This is kind of an oddly specific pick. I have East Carolina, Michigan, and Maryland all going 2-1.
Okay.
I think Michigan will beat Maryland,
Mhm.
Big Ten matchup. I think East Carolina will beat Michigan on Saturday. And then I think Maryland will beat East Carolina on Sunday. I think Maryland wants revenge after East Carolina knocked them out of the regional last year.
Okay. So here's what I have, right? I have Maryland going 3-0.
That would be my other prediction.
Yeah.
I think Maryland has a chance to go.
I think they're going to win a close one Friday and Sunday night. East Carolina, I think is going to go 0-3.
0-3?
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah. So
Was this your hot take you talked about earlier?
this is one of them. So I have East Carolina going 0-3. I think Indiana State's not as bad as
Probably not.
you're not giving them enough credit, I don't think. I think they're going to win Friday night against East Carolina. And then I think they're going to, so far, they've actually dominated Big Ten teams. They've beaten up on Ohio State. And I can't remember who the other one is. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to say, but they've beaten 2 Big Ten teams already. I think that's going to end. They're going to lose to Maryland and Michigan. And I think Michigan's going to go 2-1, only losing to Maryland. So with that being said, I would have Maryland winning this. And I want to note Maxwell Costas.
I have him noted as well.
Okay. He's a first baseman through 8 games, has hit 357 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs.
Yeah, 821 slug. I also have noted Michigan junior Clark Elliott, who's hitting 400. This dude's been eating.
Yeah.
He's hitting 400, 829 slug, 3 homers, and 4 doubles.
Okay.
Almost a pretty similar stat line to Maxwell.
Okay. So there are 4 other classics going on this weekend. We're just going to mention them, not really dive into them. We're just going to let you know they're out there, they're going on. There's the Frisco College Baseball Classic, Central Virginia Classic, All-American Classic, and the Cambria College Classic.
Francisco.
So let's move in. So we have 3 games that we have noted that we're going to try to dive into, give you guys a good idea of what this series might look like. So with that being said, let's start with number 15, Georgia versus 18, Georgia Tech. Game 1 is going to be at Georgia Tech. Game 2 is going to be at Georgia. And then game 3 will be at your Braves AAA Stadium, Coolray Park.
Shout out Atlanta Braves minor league system.
Yeah.
Yeah, home of the Gwinnett Stripers.
Nice. Georgia is 8-0. Georgia Tech is 8-1. So
I like this matchup a lot.
I like this matchup a lot too. I'm gonna predict what pitchers I think are gonna go these days.
Mhm.
I may not be 100% correct. I did some research. These are my best guesses. With that being said, let's dive into it. I think Friday, Georgia Tech will pitch Chance Huff through 2 games, has gone 1-0 over 11 innings pitched with a 2.45 ERA with
Solid.
18 Ks. Georgia, I think, will put up Jonathan Cannon through 2 games, has gone 2-0 over 14.1 innings pitched with 0 ERAs, 9 Ks.
Yeah, I think so these teams match up, in my opinion, they match up very well together. I think Georgia's strength is their pitching staff, and I think Georgia Tech's strength is their explosive offense.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
with that.
so the question is who is going to be able to be consistent and sustain that. I think with Georgia throwing Jonathan Cannon on Friday night, I think they're going to be able to get the dub in Atlanta.
I agree with you. I don't think it's in is that where Georgia Tech is?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. I think Georgia's going to take the Friday night game. So let's move to Saturday. I think Georgia Tech's going to pitch Zach Maxwell through 2 games, has gone 1-0 over 9 innings pitched with a 3 ERA with 16 Ks. Georgia, I think, is going to pitch Liam Sullivan through 2 games, has gone 1-0 over 7 innings pitched with a 5.14 ERA with 5 Ks. I think Georgia Tech's going to take this one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You agree with me?
I think, dude, the Georgia Tech offense, their lineup is long.
Yeah.
I was looking at their stats. They have 7 of their guys right now are hitting over 318.
That's insane.
Yeah, and 4 of them are hitting in the 400 range.
Wow.
Yeah. I think 2 were hitting in the 500 range. And these are like the starters that they've been playing like every game.
Yeah. So Sunday, I have no clue who's going to go here. I think Georgia Tech's going to take the last game.
I agree.
You agree?
I think their offense is just too explosive.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the difference in this.
Yeah.
So I have Georgia Tech taking this series 2-1. I do want to note Georgia Tech's Kevin Parada. He's a catcher.
He's been eating.
Yeah, so far through 9 games has posted a .514 average with 6 home runs and 20 RBIs.
Yeah.
This dude's filthy.
Yeah, I think the Georgia Tech pitchers will do a fine job and being able to keep Georgia Tech in the games.
Yeah, I think so. And I think
especially with their high-powered offense.
Exactly. So for Georgia, I have noted Ben Anderson. He's a center fielder. Through 6 games, has a .545 average with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. So I just want you guys to keep a note on those 2 people. For me, those are the guys that I think could make a difference in this series.
I noted Kevin Parada because this dude has been raking.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to number 14, Florida at number 22, Miami. Florida is 8-2 going in this, have won 7 straight. Miami is sitting at 7-1. Again, I'm going to make my best guess. I think Friday, Florida is going to pitch Hunter Barco. The lefty has gone 2-0 over 2 starts, throwing 12 innings pitched with a .75 ERA with 23 Ks. I think Miami is going to pitch Carson Palmquist.
They announced that.
They
for
did?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The lefty has gone 2-0 over 2 starts, throwing 10.1 innings pitched with 1.74 ERA with 16 Ks. I think I'm going to take Florida in this one.
The first game?
I think I'm going to take Florida in the first game, yeah.
I'm going to take Miami in the first game.
Okay.
I think the atmosphere at Alex Rodriguez Park. I know you love A-Rod.
I hate
So
A-Rod.
I thought I'd mention that.
He's a joke. A-Rod.
I think it's gonna be electric there. I think they're gonna win. I think Miami will win that first game.
Okay.
Because I think the pitching matchup is pretty comparable.
Okay.
I just think that being at home and having that atmosphere will
I think
carry
Hunter
Miami.
Barco's the better pitcher. I think he's going to have the better day, and that's going to push his team over the edge.
Okay.
Saturday, I know Miami, Carson Lagone.
Listen, dog.
I think that's...
You have as a good of a guess.
Yeah,
on
I think he's
most of these
pitching.
games as I
I
do.
didn't get any information on him. I don't know who Florida's going to pitch. I think Miami's going to take this one.
Okay.
I think they're taking day 2.
So Miami this past year Florida
Mhm.
brings in number 2 recruiting class in the country.
Okay.
Last time Miami has won a home series against Florida was 2014. I think Florida is going to win the series. I think Miami will win the first game, but Florida will win the second two.
Okay. Well, I have Miami taking on Sunday.
Okay.
I don't know who Florida's going to pitch. Miami's going to pitch Jake Garland through 2 starts, has gone 2-0 over 12 innings pitched with 0 earned runs, 11 Ks. I think Miami's is better set up to win this game as well.
Okay.
I think that middle game is going to be the swing game, right? I think this series is going to go 2-1 to either team. I have Miami taking it though.
Yeah, my heart wanted to pick Miami, but just looking at the teams, I thought that the Gators were better.
Yeah.
So the Gators in their last 4, they've scored 53, only let up 7. They're ranked 3rd nationally in hits with 114 and 2nd in home runs at 24. Their ERA rankings are pretty similar. Miami is ranked 21 and Florida's ranked 23rd. I think the pitching staffs are going to perform at a similar level, but the Gator offense has the edge here. That's why I'm going with them. And specifically, I want to note Colby Halter, a sophomore infielder, and Sterling Thompson, a sophomore infielder / outfielder. That's what they had them listed as on their roster.
Okay.
They're both hitting in the 420s. They have combined 9 home runs and 21 RBIs.
Okay. Yeah, it's Sterling Thompson to keep an eye on too.
Mm-hmm.
For Miami, I noted Jacob Burke mostly plays third base. It looks like through 8 games has a 360 average, 500 on base percentage with 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. So I think keep an eye out for him.
Yeah. Well, I also noted a couple players from Miami because I definitely do think that they have the ability to win the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like this isn't something that this isn't one of my more confident picks.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I want to highlight Max Romero, junior catcher, first year. I mentioned him in our ACC coverage.
Okay.
It's his first year at Miami. He transferred from Vandy. He's hitting 375 so far this year. And I also want to mention Carson Palmquist. We've talked about him. I think he'll do well on Friday night.
Okay, let's move to UC Irvine at 13, Oregon State. UC Irvine sitting at 5-3. Oregon State is sitting at a perfect 7-0. Friday, I think UC Irvine's going to pitch Michael Frias. He's gone 2-0 over 2 starts, going 11 innings pitched with a 5.73 ERA with 15 Ks. Not great. Oregon State, I think, is going to pitch Cooper. Herpe?
Dude, that name was one of the hardest to pronounce that we've had so far.
Yeah, dude. It's HJERPE. I have no clue how to say that.
Herpy.
Jesus. The lefty has gone 2-0 over 2 starts, going 11 innings pitched with a .82 ERA with 17 Ks. I think Oregon State's going to take the first game here.
Okay.
What do you think?
This series was weird for me. I didn't know what to pick what night.
Yeah.
I think both of these teams are good. I think Oregon State losing their Saturday and Sunday starters is not a good look for them.
Yeah.
I have that UC Irvine will win game 1 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what games they're going to win. I know they're going to win 2.
Okay. Well, let's move to Saturday then. I know that UC Irvine's probably going to pitch Nick Pinto. Through 2 starts, his own
the bean
has gone 11.1 innings pitched with a 3.18 ERA with 11 Ks. Like you said, Oregon State's usual starting pitcher on Saturday is hurt. So with that being said, I have UC Irvine taking this game. You have Oregon State, right?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Like that's what I have written down, but
yeah.
I don't know specifics on what's going to go down.
So Sunday, I think this game's going to be a toss-up. I think UC Irvine will pitch Danny Suarez. Through 2 starts, has gone 9 innings pitched with a 4 ERA with 10 Ks. I have Oregon State taking this, so I have them winning the series 2-1.
Okay.
I think you're right, man. Like, it's going to be hard to see until we see it with Oregon State losing their Saturday and Sunday pitcher. That's a huge blow.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what they do. I still am confident that Oregon State will take this series at home. I think they're going to drop their first game of the season, though.
Okay. Yeah, I think trying to predict predict the games based on the starters is kind of hard.
It's tough, yeah, because at this point in the season, it's not really set in stone yet.
Not only that, like you just never know what day. Like some of these guys might not have it that day, and it just could happen to be that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think trying to predict the games off of who's pitching is kind of like, unless it's somebody that's really lights out, I don't. It's hard to do. Yeah,
it seems like Friday starters are kind of set in stone right now, but other than that, Saturday and Sunday are kind of
unless you got a stud at number.
Unless you got a nasty 1-2 setup, it's hard to say.
All right, let's move into.
Well, before we do that, I want to note UC Irvine Ben Fitzgerald. I think he mostly DHs. Through 7 games, has a 240 average with 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. Not great. Just keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Oregon State, though, has Jacob Melton, who I think plays mostly first. Through 7 games, has a 536 average with 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. So I think that guy could swing this series if he gets the bat going.
I have to look out for Nathan Church, who I think is one of the best prospects for UC Irvine.
Yeah.
He's only hitting 258 right now through 31 at-bats. I think he'll turn it around and be the key to success for UC Irvine.
I think that's a good pick.
Appreciate it.
Of course. So these next 2 games we're going to look at, not go as in depth though, but we're going to pick who we think's going to win. Yeah.
Sort of like what we did last week with Texas and Bama and Baylor and Duke.
Yeah. So we'll start with 16 TCU at Kentucky. TCU is 7-1. Kentucky is 8-1. I have TCU taking this 2-1. I have Kentucky taking the Saturday game.
Yeah, I haven't made my pick yet.
Okay.
I was low key kind of waiting to see who you went with.
Yeah.
I think TCU's pitching staff is off to a great start. Their one pitcher, Aaron Crabb, he hasn't let up a run so far this year. The Kentucky lineup has been raking, though. They have a combined 333 average compared to TCU's 281. Since you went with TCU, I'm going to say screw and go with Kentucky.
Okay. I like that. I think this is going to be a good series as well.
It'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
I think the key, though, is who's going to win Friday night, personally.
I think that's a good point. Let's move to 9 Mississippi State at Tulane. Mississippi State is 5-4. Tulane is 8-1. I'll let you go first there.
So the defending champions, Mississippi State, are not looking good.
Not
in my
off to
opinion.
a great start, yeah.
Their offense has been subpar.
World Series slump? ?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible for the Bulldogs. I'm going with Tulane because I like them.
And what, 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1.
Okay.
I don't think they'll sweep them.
That would be a bold prediction by you, I think.
Yeah. I like to pick upsets,
that would be real ballsy. Yeah.
I think the Green Wave will win 2-1.
Okay. I think Mississippi State's going to take it 2-1. I think they're still the better team, I think. I think they're working through some kinks.
I think they're overrated.
They might be overrated, but I think they're better than Tulane. I do have Tulane taking the Friday game, though.
Okay.
So I do like your pick 2-1 because if they take the Friday game, like the rest of the weekend's open.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Other games I want you guys to keep an eye on is Coastal Carolina at 24 UNC and Clemson at South Carolina. I think that's going to be another good matchup.
Yeah, I specifically like the Clemson, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think those two teams are.
I think South Carolina is undefeated. Maybe.
Clemson is, I'm pretty sure.
Is it Clemson? I know one of them's undefeated and one of them has 1 loss, I believe.
I think both of those teams are really good. It's a good in-state matchup.
Yeah, that's an in-state rivalry game, so that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on for sure.
My games of notes, I definitely messed that up. Games of notes.
Yeah, what are you doing?
UC Santa Barbara, Oregon. I think both of those teams are close to making a run at their conferences. They could do it if they get hot at the right time. I think that's an interesting matchup. And Cal at number 10, Florida State.
Okay, I like that one. I think that's one to keep an eye on. I think with that one, I could see a Florida State sweep. but I feel like Cal's going to take at least one.
I think Florida State will get it done.
I think Florida State's going to take the series, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cal takes one.
Mhm.
Okay, let's move to conference previews. We're going to start with the Big Ten. I'm going to let you go first.
All right, so 2021 winner is Nebraska.
The Cornhuskers.
Yeah, that I don't think they're going to repeat.
They're not husking the corn to the championship this time.
Not this year.
Yeah. It's a bad harvest this year for them.
It's a cornless year. They lose their Friday night and Saturday night starters from last year. Their closer missed all of last season with a shoulder injury. I don't think they have what it takes to repeat. Yeah. They have a young players who in a year or two might be able to put it together and they could make a run at the Big Ten. I just don't think they'll do it this year.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Maryland and Michigan are the best teams in this conference.
I agree with that. I think these two teams are fairly similar.
I agree with you. They both have like a really good Friday night starter, and then their offense is just pretty well rounded.
Yeah. I'll let you go.
Okay.
I'm stepping on your toes here. My bad.
All good. So Maryland.
I'm excited. So these four conferences were like really interesting to like look at and like learn about because
there's a lot of like interesting teams.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, go ahead, take it and run, baby. Take it and run.
Right now, Maryland's ranked 21 in the country.
Yep.
They make their first regional last year since 2017. Lose to East Carolina, like I said earlier. Mm-hmm. They return a few core hitters from last year that led the Big Ten in homers and total bases. And
stolen bases.
Word. Matt Shaw, I want to highlight, sophomore second baseman, ranked 6th best second baseman by D1 Baseball, 332 average last year, 543 slug. The player I like most on this team is Chris Elaine.
Okay.
He's a fifth-year senior outfielder.
Are you making a Seinfeld reference right now?
No, I've never actually. Hot take, never seen.
Wow.
Seinfeld.
I've never watched it through and through. I've watched some episodes. I like it. It's pretty funny. You should check it out. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
no free
I'll have
ads.
to watch it. I have so much stuff I need to watch. Also, quick note: Peaky Blinders new season is out.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah. All right. So Chris Elaine, fifth-year senior, second All Big Ten last year. Switch hitting, leadoff hitter, 22 stolen bases, leads the conference last year. Mm-hmm. He hit 306 with a 409 on base last year with 8 homers. I think he is the spark plug for the Maryland offense at the top of their lineup. They lose their ace from last year, but replace him with their best pitcher. So they replace him with their pitcher with the lowest ERA, Nick Dean, who posted a 2.87 ERA.
I think this guy has a strong case for conference pitcher of the year, possible.
Yeah, he's really good.
He'll be starting. I think he starts Friday nights.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan Ramsey moves from the bullpen to the starting rotation this year after posting a 1.87 ERA out of the arm barn.
So you're taking Maryland, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I think Michigan's really good.
Okay, so this is gonna please my family.
I knew you were gonna do
Michigan. I'm taking the Wolverines.
You're a Michigan bandwagon.
No, yes. I'm a Penn State fan through and through. Me and my Nana. Shout out Nana. Love you. The rest of my family's gonna love this pick though. I'm taking Michigan. They return their Friday and Saturday starters. They also have 6 batters who've had at least 100 at-bats last year. Strong pitching staff, strong core of veteran batters. Made it to the regionals last year. I think the Friday night pitcher, Cam Weston, who you were talking about earlier.
He's a stud.
He's a stud.
Who's the Maryland guy?
Nick Dean.
Nick Dean and Cam Weston.
Yeah.
They're gonna
compete for the conference pitcher of the year. I think.
They'll have some fun matchups whenever they play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever they're up against each other.
So Cam Weston, preseason All Big Ten conference by perfect game. He's the number 4 prospect in the Big Ten for the 2022 MLB draft for college players. Last year, he went 14 starts, 7-4, 2.81 ERA through 83.1 innings pitched with 69 Ks. Nice.
He also had a 1.16 whip.
This dude's nasty.
Yeah, he's gross.
So the next guy I have highlighted here is Clark Elliott. He's a junior outfielder. He's the top prospect in the Big Ten. He's ranked 51st prospect overall in the 2022.
He's been tearing the cover off the ball this year. So
Yeah, MLB draft for college players. Also a preseason All Big Ten Conference player by Perfect Game. He was also the batting champion of the Cape Cod League, hitting .344 for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Hyannis.
Yeah. Last year, through 43 games, had a .270 average with 5 home runs and 22 RBIs, but he also had 30 walks and a .403 on base percentage. So I think this he's shown through the Cape Cod League, which is one of the top summer leagues, that he can hit the ball, and I think that's gonna, like you said, he's kept it rolling, and he already gets on base. So I think the combination of those two things are gonna click, and he's gonna be a huge part of this lineup. My last guy is Ted Burton. He's a junior infielder, mostly playing third base, it looks like. Named 2021 All-Region Second Team by ABCA, 2021 All-Big Ten Conference First Team at second base last year. He's also a preseason All-Big Ten Conference player by Perfect Game. He's the top infield prospect in the Big Ten. Last year, through 35 games, had a .342 average with 7 home runs and 28 RBIs.
I had him listed as well. I think he's another key to their lineup.
Yeah.
I also had listed Tito Flores.
Okay.
Which I don't know why I have these stats in parentheses. Did he play for them last year? I want to say he played for them last year.
I feel like he might have played for Davidson. I don't know if that's true. I remember reading someone played for Davidson. I think it's him.
They all run together.
It's a lot of names to look over while we're
He
going
played
through this. Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he played for Michigan last year.
Okay.
But he hit 325, 429 on base, 552 slug. This team isn't going to beat you with over the fence power.
Yeah.
They got good gap to gap power, and
Yeah.
they have a lot of good bat to ball skills.
Yeah.
I
think
this wasn't a confident pick for me.
I
in
think-
all honesty.
I think those two teams are going to compete for it.
Mhm.
I think that's all that needs really to be said.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke and say that I thought Penn State was going to win it, but I don't think they are. They do have some good hitters, though.
What's that catcher's name? Like Alex
Matt Wood.
Matt Wood. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move into the Big West. Last year, UC Santa Barbara won that, I believe. I think.
I
Yeah.
have written down that UC Irvine won it.
Maybe you're right.
Regardless.
Regardless.
Wait. Before we get into this, I want to talk about the names in the team names in this conference.
They're great.
So we got the Anteaters, the Dirtbags, the Gauchos, which is an Argentinian cowboy,
Nice.
Mustangs, Matadors, Tritons, which is the demigod son of Poseidon, and the Titans. There's a lot of
I love it.
Yeah. I wish I would have known this before. I would have included all these teams in my top 10 list.
So I think this conference is going to come down to two teams as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Both the teams I have this coming down to is UC Irvine and Long Beach State.
I agree with you.
So with these two teams, it's kind of the opposite of Michigan and Maryland. One of them has a strong pitching core while the other one has strong hitters.
Mhm.
UC Irvine's the strong hitting team. Long Beach State is better in the pitching. So with that being said, I think I'm going to take UC Irvine again.
That's who I'm taking.
That's who
as
you're
well.
taking. This team has a ton of hitting stars.
They returned 6 of 9 starters last year,
Yeah.
all who hit over 290.
Yeah, I think the problem here, if they run into one, could be the pitching. They return two starters with an experienced bullpen, highlighted by closer Jacob King.
They just don't have a lot of like pitching power.
Yeah,
Like, they don't have anybody that's going to blow you away.
they're gonna need some people to step up for sure.
Mhm.
I want to highlight Jacob King, named Perfect Game USA third team All-American, collegiate baseball newspaper freshman All-American through 29 appearances, recorded 8 saves through 41 innings pitched, posting a 1.98 ERA with 45 Ks.
I have listed Nathan Church, who I talked about earlier.
I have him as well.
Career 364 hitter for Anteaters.
Yeah.
He's the best hitter in the conference, if not one of the best hitters in the country.
Yeah, he was collegiate baseball newspaper third team All-American and freshman All-American.
Also note, they have, even though their pitching staff isn't great, they have one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Mhm.
They, I think, were like top 5 in fielding percentage last year. So
Okay. I do want to note for him, he had played in 61 games, hit 369 with 6 home runs and 61 RBIs. He had 100 hits last year on the dot, which is pretty impressive. 24 doubles, 8 triples, and he also scored 62 runs as well. So
yeah, this team they don't have a lot of thump, but
Yeah.
they're gonna like Michigan, they're gonna put the ball in play
Yeah.
and put pressure on the defense.
the last guy I have noted is Luke Spillane, redshirt sophomore, mostly playing left field. Through 58 games, posted a 308 average with 5 home runs, 45 RBIs, and he also had 14 steals. So he is a menace on the base path.
Yeah, blazing lightning speed.
Yeah, so I do want to just highlight Long Beach State real quick. They're going to have a good weekend rotation. In between, they have a ton of depth, it looks like.
They have also one of the best closers in the country.
Yeah, he's absolutely electric.
Devereaux Harrison, 31 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, 10 saves, and a 1.57 ERA.
Yeah, he won 2021 Baseball America Freshman All-American along with the NCBWA Freshman All-American last year.
Yeah, their pitching staff is phenomenal, but they just don't really have a lot of great hitters.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem, I think. And I think they've run into that a little bit already. So, I mean, it's a long season. They might be able to turn around, but I'm taking UC Irvine. I do want to mention Brooks Lee, plays at Cal Poly. He's a shortstop, sophomore. Do you know anything about this guy?
No.
He's a number 2 overall prospect in the 2022 MLB draft for college players. 2021 finalist for National Gold Glove team. This dude had a ton of awards. I'm just highlighting a few. 2021 member of USA's Baseball Collegiate National Team, 2021 co-national freshman of the year from Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. He was 2022 first team preseason All-American for Collegiate Baseball Newspaper, Perfect Game, Baseball America, and D1 Baseball. Last year, through 54 games, hit 342 with 10 home runs, 57 RBIs, and he had 27 doubles. So I'm mentioning this guy because he's a possibility to be a first round pick. So when you're listening to these games and watching these games,
look out for this
guy.
I want to note that I think UC Santa Barbara has a chance to have a better, do better in the conference than Long Beach State. But
I don't hate that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Colonial, 2021 winner is Northeastern.
Yep.
This is an easy pick for me here. I'm going with College of Charleston. Woo! Shout out. So Connor and I's best friend, Johnny, is the greatest hockey player to ever step on the ice for the College of Charleston Cougars.
The Cougars.
If their baseball program is as good as their hockey program is, they should have no problem winning the conference every year.
Yeah.
So I'm going with College of Charleston.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I thought about it. I really debated it. They are actually they're one of the top contenders for this conference.
Remember who loves you more, Johnny.
But I'm taking UNC Wilmington. They have offensive firepower, pitching depth that's young, and if they find some leaders, I think that's just going to help. The offense might be the best in the conference. Last year was Randy Hood, first season as coach. I think he's going to be able to piece this team together perfectly this year, and they're going to make a run for the conference.
But they're not College of Charleston, so
they're not. I do want to note Brooks Baldwin. He's an outfielder, infielder, redshirt junior. He's probably the second best player in the field. I'm going to mention who's the best right after this. Well, not right after this, but in a little bit. Brooks Baldwin, 2021 ABCA second team All-Atlantic region. He was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 15th round last year, came back, decided to play baseball for UNC Wilmington. Last year, through 54 games, hit 325 with 15 home runs and 45 RBI. So this dude's got some power.
Is he a lefty? Is he going to be putting it in the bay?
I'm not sure.
Well, actually, he'll get drafted by somebody else.
Yeah.
But...
So there's two people that are going to be possible starters that I think you should keep an eye on. I'm going to name them both. Ethan Chenault, Jacob Schaefer. They're both going to be sophomores this year. They both mostly pitched out of the pen last year. I think they both have a chance to be starters in the weekend rotation. So just keep an eye out for them. I do want to mention Chase DeLauter, James Madison player, center fielder. redshirt sophomore. He's the number 6 overall prospect in the 2022 draft for college players. Last year, he only played in 26 games. Not sure why. Maybe injury, maybe a little bit of COVID, maybe a little bit of both. He hit 386 with 6 home runs and 21 RBIs. He scored 26 runs, and he had 25 base on balls.
I was watching them play Richmond the other night, and the other day, and he was looking good.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is, right, 25 walks in 26 games. That's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah,
That's pretty elite.
So you have a pretty disciplined hitter when you can do that.
Absolutely. So let's move into the Conference USA.
2021 winner is Old Dominion. They aren't going to repeat.
No?
No.
I have them repeating.
Interesting. Because I have 2 teams that I like more than them.
Okay.
Which are Southern Miss and Louisiana Tech.
I like both of those teams as well. I think Old Dominion is going to take it. That might be a homer pick because they are in my top 8.
They lost a lot of talent from last year. I just don't think they have what it takes. Southern Miss, they return 8 of 9 starters. They beat Ole Miss and Florida State in the regionals last year. They're going to be tough to beat with experience like that. Louisiana Tech, they have a great core of seniors who are hungry and have a lot of heart.
And they have Chase Young.
Exactly.
Your cousin.
Taylor Young.
Yeah.
Chase Young is
plays
for Washington Commanders.
The Commanders now. Yeah.
So
my bad.
Taylor Young he hit 309 last year, a 989 fielding percentage. He started every game for the Bulldogs last year. Jonathan Fincher, 8-1 last year, 3.04 ERA. Steele Netterville, who we talked about for name of the year.
Love that name.
These are all seniors, by the way. 283 average, 572 slug. So my gut says Southern Miss, but my heart says Louisiana Tech.
So that's who you're taking?
No. I'm going with my gut. I'm going with Southern Miss.
All right. I like both of those teams as well, but you mentioned Old Dominion. I think they're going to win. They won the conference last year. They made it to the regional final, losing to Virginia in the 10th. They were right there. They could have made it even farther. They do lose some key players, like you said, but this team's full of studs, and I think they're going to pick up the slack and keep the ball rolling. So my players of note, Carter Trice, sophomore utility player, Conference USA Freshman of the Year, first team freshman All-American by Collegiate Baseball and Perfect Game last year through 58 games, hit 355, 14 home runs, 54 RBIs, and he had 57 runs as well. Next guy I want to talk about is Noah Dean. He's a sophomore closer. He's the first prospect in the Conference USA for the 2022 MLB draft for college players. Conference USA all-freshman team. The lefty's fastball touches 100. That's gross. Last year appeared in 19 games, had 9 saves, went 21.1 innings pitched, posting a 4.64 ERA with 44 Ks. Don't love the 4.64 ERA, but if he cuts that down, I think he could be an absolute threat coming into the end of the game. The last guy I want to mention.
Geez, how many you got? 5?
This is the last one, and you're going to like this one, I promise. Tommy Bell is a senior infielder. He was the Conference USA Tournament MVP, second team All-Region team by ABCA. Through 60 games, had 8 home runs, 49 RBIs. But why I listed this guy is because he has an insane stat.
All right, let me hear it.
This dude walked 13 times last year. He was hit by pitches 18 times. I don't know what.
It was a magnet.
I don't know what he's doing to connect. Yeah, it's just that's an insane number to me. I saw that and I was like, I have to mention this guy. So I think but he's a good player as well. I think that's just an insane stat to have.
We got to move into team knockoff. We've been going for a while.
Yeah, so we're gonna move to top 5. Last week, I had Arkansas, Long Beach State, NC State, Arizona State, Penn State, Bryant, Texas Tech, Old Dominion. I'm dropping Bryant, Texas Tech, Old Dominion. So I am down to Arkansas, Long Beach State, Dirtbags, NC State, Arizona State, and Penn State.
Alrighty.
Who do you have?
Last week, sorry, not even last week, like 4 days ago, I had Oklahoma State, Long Beach State, Arizona, Tennessee, Miami, BYU, Grand Canyon Antelopes, and the Penn State Nittany Lions. I'm knocking off Long Beach State. I can't stay with the dirtbags.
That's dirty.
Yeah, heart.
You're a dirtbag for that.
I know. My heart isn't with them. I'm gonna have to cut Miami. I can't pick a team who plays at Alex Rodriguez Park.
Fair enough.
And BYU, I'm not a Mormon. I can't. I can't pick BYU. So my top 5 teams are Oklahoma State, Arizona, Tennessee, Grand Canyon, and Penn State.
Nice. All right, so that will do it. Make sure to follow us on Spotify. Give us that 5-star rating. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube and give us the thumbs up.
Yeah, hit the bell if you want notifications.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Omaha Dreams Podcast. We will see you guys on Tuesday.
Also, shout out to our first live audience member, Melissa, Connor's girlfriend.
Shout out. All right.
Appreciate you.
Have a great one.